guys, you're watching Cait Straight Up, and I am Caitlin, and today I have something really fun for you. We are going to make barbecue cleanup sloppy joes. You heard that correctly. This recipe is kind of different than some other things that I do here. It's kind of an eye in it, throwing it all together. Who am I kidding? That's kind of how I cook anyway. But it is literally going to be a way for you to clean up all those condiments left over from a summer barbecue. You are going to love it. And best part, it makes a delicious sloppy joe, which, let's all be serious, who doesn't love a sloppy joe? To make this sloppy joe, we are going to take so many different things that you might have left over from a barbecue and toss them together in one big pot with some ground beef and call it a sloppy joe. So we're going to start by browning up our meat. We're going to do that just stovetop and pour in half of a beer. We're going to let that get going with our meat and our beer before we add our other ingredients. So we are going to start with some of our condiments that you definitely have left over, and that is ketchup. We're going to just do a couple swirls, or if you have the bottom of the bottle, that's fine too. A couple swirls into our ground beef. We're going to do the same thing with our mustard. Again, if you have a lot left over, then you'll just... Oh my God, I'm such a child. If you have a lot left over, then you're not going to use all that mustard. Just do a couple swirls. But again, a couple swirls of mustard left over from your barbecue. After we got our ketchup and mustard in, we're going to hit it with a little bit of Worcestershire and then some other things that we might have left over from our hot dog bar. So these are just some hot dog onions, the traditional Sabret's cart style onions. We're going to just dump that in there. I know you guys are like, what is she doing? I'm telling you, this is one of the best sloppy joes you've ever eaten. It's so good. And then we're going to do the same thing with some hot dog relish. The relish is one thing that if you have a lot left over, I wouldn't go crazy with. Maybe about 2 tablespoons tops for this entire recipe. And last but not least, we do have some spices. We have some paprika, we have some garlic powder, we have some onion powder, and we're going to just put all that in and then give it a good stir. Now, you probably know from sloppy joes that if you let it sit a little bit and let all of those flavors congeal together, that it gets even better. And there is no different with this recipe. Just because we're cleaning up our sloppy joes and throwing a bunch of stuff in here left over from our barbecue doesn't mean that we don't want it to congeal together and really get those delicious flavors. So once you have it stirred up, you can go ahead and put it down on low, and actually it'll be fine on your stove for a little bit, but at least do it for about a half hour minimum just to let it kind of all come together. And after that time on the stove, you have yourself a delicious clean-up barbecue sloppy joe. It is going to taste so good, have all those flavors from your barbecue in it, and it goes together perfectly, I promise. I would not steer you wrong. Make sure to subscribe to Cait Straight Up for more recipes like this on every Tuesday. Find me on Instagram, Cait Straight Up Cooking, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.